Hey houseplant friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your favorite plant me mommy. And today I'm gonna tell you about why you don't need to do what other people tell you to in order to be happy, okay? No hate. I don't think my friend even watches my videos. There's someone I know in the planty world. They came over and visited. And when they came here, their first comment, instead of like how cool things were or anything, it was, this is it? This is all the plants you have? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, but you're a YouTuber. You're supposed to have like a ton of plants. And I was like, well, I'm a minimalist. I don't know. I've been like cutting back on my collection to make it manageable. She was like, I just don't understand. Like, this is it? And I'm sure while they were just kind of blown away that maybe it doesn't seem like a lot, they just couldn't like believe that this was all that I had. You know, I make content almost every day about my plants and like how many plants I have. And I'm sure while they meant well, it was actually kind of hurtful. To me, I have a lot. It's just put away into 2 IKEA cabinets and a really cute small little, you know, begonia terrarium. And then when we went over to her place, I mean, she probably has upwards of 1,000 plants in 3 different Mills packed to the brim. They're not planted Mills, they have a shelf. And then she has an additional greenhouse. And she is so amazing, lovely, sweet. But I just wanted to talk about this perception of what a plant collector is and how there's no like right or wrong way to be a collector. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure to like collect, like buy more. And I'm basically making this video to tell you guys that like, it's all bullshit and don't listen to anyone. Before we get farther into this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Join the YouTube channel memberships. They're only $5 a month and they help me make content like this full time. And welcome to the PlanTEA series. I have an entire playlist of these videos if you'd like to check them out. I've made videos in the past about houseplant hoarder culture, how it's like buy more, instead of just actually focusing on growing what you have. There's also a very distinct difference between indoor plant growers and outdoor plant growers. I feel like outdoor plant growers, honestly, there's like so many different types of people and no one fits any one mold. But I really feel like outdoor plant growers focus more on growing their plants, whereas indoor plant people focus on collecting plants and adding more things to the collection and buying and trading and selling. And it's like this endless cycle. You buy a $1,000 philodendron, you take a bunch of cuttings, you keep the top cut, and then you sell each cutting for like $250 and then you make back what you spent on the plant. And while there's nothing wrong with that, it can lead you down a rabbit hole of a shopping addiction, which is actually what I developed. Made a ton of videos on it, but every month or every 2 months, depending on how much I spend, if I feel like it's worth talking about, I make a video on how much I spent and what I bought. Because I feel like transparency for me is important, to stay accountable and to not spend all of our money every single month on plants. When you're at the plant store and you're like looking at plants, you might just be there to window shop. Sometimes a clerk will come up to you and obviously it's their job to like sell you plants. But you'll be like, oh, I want to get this, but I just don't have any room. And they're like, there's always room for more plants. You know, there's like your plant friends who are like, let's go plant shopping together. And you'll be like, I should get this, but I really shouldn't. And they're like, just do it. Treat yourself. Like, you deserve it. There's just this buying consumeristic culture. All these plant purge groups, which is so fun. I love, like, literally I fall asleep at night watching different like YouTube streamers and then scrolling purges because I want to see what current prices are like. Plot twist, they're really low right now. There is no specific amount of plants, of collecting any one type of plant that is the perfect amount. I try to keep a level head. I'm trying to not overspend on plants. I'm trying to control what I'm buying, what I'm growing. I've been pretty much getting rid of any plant that doesn't fulfill me right now because there's no reason to keep things around that don't fulfill you. And I'm not buying right now. So when someone comes over and they have this perception that everyone is like them, or if someone who doesn't have a lot comes over and you have a lot, it's like, oh my gosh, this is like so much. How do you take care of all this? Like, your plant collection should be a reflection of what you want to see out of your collection. And I think that collection planning helps a lot. Writing down like what your plant goals are. Usually a lot of people do this at the beginning of the year. Write down what their goals are, wish list plants they might like to get throughout the year. If they have a budget, where they might want to put certain plants. I have some friends who like plan out where they put stuff and what they're gonna buy and when they're gonna get it. And it's like a whole thing. It's like a science. I personally don't do that. I think that'd be a fun video. We make a house plant planning video. That could be fun. Really what causes this is people just get so caught up in hype. They see this new plant. Like right now, now. I think Epipremnum marble it's like this Indo variety of Epipremnum, and it came out and it is like taking the plant community by storm right now. Everyone wants it, and I've seen the price go from like 1,000 down to 500 because Epipremnum, if you didn't know, they grow really fast. I've also seen a lot of people try to sell marble queens as the Indo version. They are completely different plants. They are not the same. Someone can charge whatever they want for any plant. Usually, you know, there's some mental reasoning there. What I have been doing now more than ever is downsizing my collection. And I feel like your plant journey is going to be like a tree. You know, they tell you that about your life. Your life is like a tree. It goes through seasons. Sometimes you're growing, sometimes you're pruning, sometimes you feel dead and you're just chilling. And other times you're like growing in all these flower buds and new leaves. And you know, it's like a season of growth. I feel like plant collections are like that. I've been into the plant community now for 3.5 years, maybe 2.5, I'm not sure. I started at the end of 2019. So it'll be 3 years for me this, like, I think November for when I started posting videos, but I think in April this year is like my 3-year anniversary for plant collecting. And I feel like I've come a long way in 3 years. You know, you start out, the plant collector trend starts out with rush excitement. You see this plant, someone tells you it's rare, you see it in the store, you're like, I have to get this, it's like rare, I might never ever see this again. And then you kind of kilter out and you're like, okay, there's actually a lot of rare plants, and a lot of these plants I thought were rare actually aren't. And then you kind of even out a little bit more and you're like, why am I only collecting rare plants? Common plants are amazing too. And then a lot of people will completely abandon rare plants and they'll just flip fully to common plants because they've realized the beauty in common plants. They're so affordable and accessible. And then they might kind of work their way back into an even version of both. I feel like that is a representation of my plant growth journey. I think right now I have a lot of uncommon plants that are in my Redstas, and other than that I want a lot of normal plants. I would have a lot more plants right now, honestly, if I could justify buying them, but I'm trying to have this be like the year of less buying. I'm keeping track every single month of how much I've spent on plants. I didn't spend any money on plants in April. In May I spent, I think the total was $481, and that was to build the Redsta. It was $280 for the cabinet itself and then $150 for the actual supplies that I purchased. There's like a common saying like, what do you do when you're sad? Buy plants. What do you do when you're happy? Buy plants. What do you do when you're in the middle? Buy plants. I woke up today and I needed to buy plants. And I feel like, wow, that is totally cool. And everyone can do whatever they want with any of their money. I just feel so tired of the consumeristic culture, and I know that I feed into it a little bit. I make plant shopping videos, I talk about plant prices online, I show you guys some stuff. What is a good, safe way to choose what you're going to buy? What's a couple good tips for buying plants responsibly? Sounds like we're talking about alcohol. I would say the biggest tip, to be honest, is write down what you want, and then from that list, if you see one of those plants while you're out and about, then go for it. A lot of people do a couple different behavioral checks, keep a list, and then they'll only buy plants off that list. Or if they see a plant and then they leave it up to like fate. They're like, okay, this is here the next time I come back. And then it is usually never there. So it's a pretty good way to like avoiding plants. You can take some cash out of your bank account every single month, and that your plant stipend, you can stack it so that next month you have even more money saved up for if you wanted to buy a plant. I think plant planning is nice, like picking where you want to put something. Like if you're looking at a spot in your house and you're like, something needs to go there, but you're not totally sure like what, it's super fun. Imagine a couple different things that could go there. Maybe have a friend over, come brainstorm, write down some plants you think could be fun, and then go plant shopping together. I think that sounds like an amazing time. Another point I wanted to make is that if you want to keep outdoor plants indoors, you can. That is something you can do. I currently am growing an outdoor jasmine bush inside, grabbing on to all of my plants. It's growing up my fiddly fig, it's growing up my Hoya pubicalis, it's growing up my variegated string of art, it's growing up some macrame, it's attached to the window, like it's going everywhere, and it makes me so happy. You should collect plants that make you happy, and if people make you feel weird for that, those are not good people to hang around. People should be friends with people who are going to uplift their expression and uplift their plants and not make you feel negative for what plants you collect or how you collect them. You know, if you only like rare plants, then yeah, you only like rare plants, and that's okay. And if you only like common plants, that's okay too. You know, I kind of meme about people who say they only like rare plants because rare plants aren't even rare, they're just less accessible. They're a good like keyword search term if you're trying to find a certain type of plant. And rare sounds better than expensive. Most plant parents out there don't collect a ton of plants for the sake of having plants. They have them because they like a certain way a plant looks. They love the enjoyment of growing a plant, nurturing it, caring for it, fertilizing it, maybe crossbreeding it, you know, actually caring for the plant, instead of someone who was more like me when I got into plants, which is buy it and if it dies, replace it. You know, very shallow, in my opinion, mindset of, okay, cool, I'll have this, and then when it dies, and I'll just get a new one. There's actually a lot of people who are like, I love when my plants die because it's just an excuse to go buy another one. And if that's how you feel, you might want to think about the fact that it's possible you have a shopping addiction, which is, you know, if it's not destroying your life, who cares? Who cares? I just know for me in my own life right now, I'm really trying to manage my spending, manage my plants. I definitely right now, I think have less plants than I ever have. I also keep plants in cabinets, so it is definitely harder to see the plants that I do have. They're all in here. Like in here, I probably have over 100 plants. And in my Mills boat, I also probably have over 100 plants. But because it's all presentable and it looks nice, it doesn't look like that much. I don't have a small amount of plants, but because they're all packaged together in one nice thing, it does definitely look like less. I think mostly because it doesn't look cluttered. That is something I've also been trying to not do. I don't want to clutter. Like my area right now looks really nice. I sit here, I film, I have my cute little board, I have my spider plant, my little peace lily that I got from my friend Taylor. I have a bunch of other plants over here too. Like everything over here looks so nice. And it's not cluttered because I don't want clutter. To be honest, I think if I could get my entire collection to just be in cabinets besides my common plants, which right now it definitely is. I even have an empty cabinet. My paludarium right now is like completely empty. Nothing in here. I've actually been debating putting my begonias in my begonia box into the paludarium, but the begonia box is just so cute. That's the thing. You don't have to do anything. You literally, guys, you're in control of your own life. Sometimes my friends will get really stressed and they're like, I have to do this and this and this and this. I have to water my plants. I have to fertilize them. Today is like plant chores day. It's like you put limitations on yourself to keep a schedule. But in my opinion, the second that your schedule becomes a negative behavior or something that causes you stress, it's time to rethink that schedule, because there is no reason that you need to feel like you need to fulfill those goals. You could write down a bunch of list of plant chores that you need to do. And if you don't get to them, that's okay. There's no one who's gonna slap you on the wrist. There's no one who's gonna get mad at you because you didn't water your plants that day, except for yourself. I just feel like there's a lot of people in the plant community who need to hear this. You are in charge of your collection. Your collection can have whatever plants in it that you want. You do not have to take care of those plants. If you're someone who just likes to buy plants and then, like, you know, if they die, you just replace them, that's okay. You just need to keep in mind that that can definitely foster a type of shopping addiction. It's also okay if you like don't want to water your plants. If you're like, I'm gonna water my plants tomorrow, it's gonna be great, and then tomorrow comes and you're like, oh, this is not good for me, then don't do it. Your plant's gonna wait. It's okay. I just want you guys to like take a deep breath with me, like, and let all the stress out. Plants are supposed to be a not stressful way to treat anxiety, depression. Like when plants make new leaves, it makes you happy. It releases dopamine. It is a reward. And also taking care of plants does reflect taking care of yourself. So the better you get at taking care of plants, it mimics self-care and it helps you also take care of yourself. But the second that becomes negative, I think it's definitely okay to not do some planty plans that, you know, maybe you made plans to do. I just want to release you guys from that. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. I just wanted to like sit and chat for a second and talk about, there is no quota. You don't need to have like 300 plus plant collection. Like, sure, it does definitely sound out there if you're like, I have 500 plants, I have this many plants. Like, it's cool. Yeah, it's definitely cool. And if you have that many plants, that's okay. There's no problem. Don't make other people feel bad because they don't collect the same way as you do, or they don't do what you do. You know, like, it's okay to do different things. Everyone's plant journey is completely different from everyone else's. But yeah, this whole video basically just came from my friend coming over and being like, this is it. It's like, yeah, this is it. I'm really proud of it. I'm sorry it's not that much, but like, this is what makes me happy. This is like a lot for me to manage right now. I'm trying to keep everything alive and grow. And when you're giving a lot of attention to each individual plant, It's hard. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Share this one to your other planty babes, planty fronds who maybe need a little pep talk. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Join the YouTube channel memberships. We talk about stuff like this a lot in the Discord. It costs only $5 a month, but right now the Discord is actually free, so you are welcome to join the Discord at the link in the description. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a good planty day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.